Hey guys, well as promised, I'm going to continue the review of the Tremors series. And today, it's going to be talking about Tremors 2 Aftershocks. So Tremors 2 takes place a few years after the first movie, and we have our returning character, Earl, played by Fred Ward. He reprised his role respectively. So, he's basically, hasn't lived that well. Him and his friend Val, Kevin Bacon's characters, just went their separate ways. Val got married. He's just been living in a trailer home just as a ostrich wrangler. Hasn't really done much. His fame that happened because of the first movie just went nowhere. And so then he meets with these people who want him to hunt these graboids in Mexico, and because they're going to pay him $50,000 for every graboid he kills, he decides to accept the offer, and so he goes to Mexico to kill the graboids. But since there's so many graboids, he decides to get help from Burt Gummer, played by Michael Gross. He also reprised his role respectively. So he comes down to Mexico too with all his firepower to help kill all the graboids, only to have another problem happen. So we actually see these graboids start evolving, and so these little creatures burst out of them that are more evolved versions of the graboids. These things they name shriekers because of these high-pitched shrieking noises that they make. They could walk above ground and they can see infrared, kind of like Predator. And so they have to fight for survival against these shriekers. These shriekers also they multiply faster because every time they eat they multiply, more and more of them happen. And so they have to survive these shriekers. So this movie overall, it's a pretty good sequel. I mean, it's not as good as the first movie. There's some problems. I wasn't really all that fond of the setting in this one, because the first movie had this desert setting. This one wasn't really set that much in a desert, more like a field area, because there's all this grass and bushes in the area. So it wasn't really a desert, because they showed in the first movie that a desert location is more dangerous because of the massive heat, and you can die easier from dehydration. And so that wasn't really much in this one. And the first movie also showed that the graboids, they get smarter as the movie goes on, and they don't really fall for the same tricks, because we literally saw them throw dynamite at one of them, and he ate that dynamite and he exploded. But then they threw another one, and so then the graboid ate that dynamite and spit it out, because he's not falling for the same trick. That was in the first movie. But in this one, they fall for the same trick actually a few times. They were using dynamites a few times on graboids, and they were falling for the same tricks. So although they do mention that they do get smarter, so we saw the shriekers were getting smarter, because they were they were trying to get the humans when they were basically at high ground, so they were creating their own ladder at one point. The effects in this movie were pretty good. They had some pretty good practical effects for the graboids, and the shriekers had some pretty good practical effects. However, there was some CGI stuff that wasn't that good. I mean, from far away the CGI was pretty cool looking, probably because of the way they filmed it, but close-up stuff looked pretty bad. And also, it took more of a comedic direction. It was more it looked like it was trying to be more of a comedy than it was a intense horror thriller like the first movie was. But overall, it was a very fun movie. So, there was some stuff in it that made me laugh. And, the acting was pretty good from the cast. Fred Ward was pretty good in his role. Michael Gross was pretty good in his role, too. And, overall, the second movie was pretty good, not as good as the first movie. And so, I think that's really all I gotta say. So, it's a worthy sequel, just not as good as the first movie. Alright, that's it for this one. Stay tuned for my review of Tremors 3. See ya!